One of the best games of the entire season was in Indy last night. Let's relive that game, even though LeBron James probably didn't want to relive the first 3 quarters of that game. Went into the fourth with only 3 points, but that changed quickly. James led all players in the final frame with 10. And let's just say he really loves playing the Pacers in these types of big moments. Yeah, because, you know, these are the facts. James is no stranger to game winners against Indy.
Oh, no.
Hits the game winner in OT of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Paul George is sitting home in Philly being like, what did I do to you?
And then he hit the game-winning 3 with the Cavs. I'm just reading what happened in history back in 2018. First round of the playoffs. And then again to last night. Luka Doncic.
Hey,
no good?
Ow.
Well, really, what have you been saying all
Box out! Oh, my gosh.
At least do one or the other.
Exactly. Here's what LeBron had to say about that buzzer beater.
You got one job right there.
I was just trying to read the ball off the rim. You know, it kind of looked like it was a little short, but, you know, I knew it had a chance to kind of hit the front rim, maybe bounce in, but once it came out of there, I just wanted to try to tap it with enough time. So, you know, obviously you can see me probably looking over at the Jumbotron to see if the replay was coming to see if I actually got it on time, and good play for me.
So if you didn't get it, not to put salt in the wounds, 8 buzzer beaters, 3 of them now against the Pacers. As the Lakers snap the losing streak and get the win. This, as I said, 8th career buzzer beater, tying Kobe and Joe Johnson. Shout out Big Shot Joe for second most in NBA history and just one behind Michael Jordan's record of 9. Here is LeBron on what he's looking to ahead of tonight's game against Chicago.
You know, we got another one tomorrow. A Chicago team that's been red hot as well. Beat us pretty bad last week, so, you know, we got to get some rest because it's another team that's going to get up and down the floor, so we got to defend like we did tonight.
All right, so the Lakers jump up back to 4th in the stacked Western Conference race. The Bulls have won 8 of their last 10, and L.A. Also lost to them by 31 on Saturday. And no Rui tonight on the back end of a back-to-back. So, Brian, what did Chicago expose in that game, and what do you expect from the Lakers tonight on this back-to-back?
Well, Ramona referenced this. This was when they were playing 6 games in 8 days. And it's hard to evaluate any single one of those games, but the Bulls obviously have been playing well. They just had a great 6-game road trip where they went 4-2. But this game, like, the Lakers have 10 games left, and the standings are really tightly packed. You've basically got 3 teams tied for 3, 4, 5 with Memphis, the Lakers, and the Nuggets. And the Houston Rockets are just 2 games ahead of that. So the difference between you potentially having a home court in the first or second round, and by the way, for the Lakers, they're one of the best teams in the West at home. They're under 500 on the road. So if you think that home court doesn't matter, it does, absolutely. And the difference between being home court in the first 2 rounds and maybe being not home court at all is huge. And so getting a game like this is a really important one for the Lakers to get. And also, the Bulls. I know we haven't talked about them a lot this year, and frankly, rightly so, but this hot streak has moved them into 9th place, and they are now 1 game ahead of Miami. They are playing to see whether they're going to host the first play-in game. That's not nothing. So these games now going forward have extra meaning. Look at how tight it is at the top of the West.
You know, I think what we've seen here is this great defense the Lakers played for a while was built on toothpicks and bubble gum. Yeah. It was definitely the whole was much greater than the sum of the parts. Opponents have been able to figure it out. The shooting luck has gone the other way. The effort, they haven't been able to sustain. And look, Josh Giddey, nice young player. He looked like a Hall of Fame.
He looked like Magic Johnson out there.
Kobe White.
17
Magic Johnson
assists.
with nice flowing hair.
Yes.
Look, who are they lined up to play right now in the first round? The Memphis Grizzlies. These young, fast teams that expose the Lakers in their half-court defense, they're pretty good in the half-court. Okay, in transition defense, and when you have a team that gets up and down the court like Chicago does, that's a hole for the Lakers. And I think this is actually a good test because in a 7-game series, you can find ways to slow teams like this down. But Chicago's going to do the same thing every night. They want to run, they want to play fast, they want to shoot a lot of threes. And I think this is a really tough test. Now, Tim, I know you're talking about their defense. I'm not ready to decide anything after that stretch they were on. I mean, they were just absolutely gassed. And what happens when you're tired? You revert back to old habits. Their defense was built on effort. It's hard to have a lot of effort when you're playing that many games in the short season.
I do want to give a little shout out to Austin Reeves, though. He's held them afloat, especially when Rui and LeBron were out. And in case you missed it, Austin Reeves did a little gender reveal for his brother Spencer, who plays professional basketball in Germany. As you can see, his shoes were pink. That is how Uncle Austin delivered the news for his.
Apparently, he's known for weeks.
Yes,
it held on to that secret.
It's like he just wanted to do it again. He picked a great game because it ended up being, quite the thrilling basketball game.
National TV too.
Yeah,
such a great moment for the Reeves family. Congratulations. All right, the Lakers are looking up at the Nuggets, who got their 3-time MVP back last night. It's last night's electric moment, brought to you by Hyundai. And no Giannis or Dame for the Bucks in this one. Jokic, back after missing 5 games with an ankle injury, looking well rested. And then here with the 3.
You should probably guard him.
Yeah, I can't just leave him alone.
Inside and out.
And
then this. You can't see this enough. I mean,
Luka would be yelling and screaming if he did something like that.
Spinning over the shoulder. Phantom cam.
Smile.
It's like poetry. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's like, okay, cool. I do this all the time. Nuggets up 4. Works his way into the paint. Kicks it out to Christian Brown. Another dime for Jokic. And then Jokic, baseline. Jokic, 39 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. His 30th triple-double of the season as the Nuggets went on to win. So Jokic didn't miss a beat after missing the last 5 games. So, Tim, what has been the Nuggets' priority down the stretch here of this season?
Yeah, look, he sat 5 games when he'd been playing on that bad ankle because they felt like we've got to get him as healthy as possible going into the playoffs. Prioritize that over seeding, which it cost them some. Prioritize that over the case for Joker's 4th MVP, which, I don't know. I think Shea was maybe going to win regardless, but this set them back a little bit in that. They feel like, though, if they've got a healthy Joker as well as the surrounding pieces, that they're going to have a decent chance against anybody. If Joker was playing at 80% and hobbled, they weren't going to have much of a chance to even get out of the first round.
Yeah, they went for the 1 seed last year, got gassed and got bounced in the second. So we have a little bonus news here. Some news involving Candace Parker. Ramona.
And one of Chi-Town's finest, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Candace Parker is going to have her number 3 jersey retired by the LA Sparks at a game on June 29th against the Chicago Sky. So Candace has won 2 MVPs, 8 All-NBA teams Defensive Player of the Year. She's won a title with LA, dunked in the game here. She's going to go up in the rafters at Crypto.com Arena with Lisa Leslie and Penny Toller.
Congrats to one of the all-time greats for sure. All right, still to come, the backstory for the kid from Newport, Maine. Cooper Flagg and his community gave ESPN a behind-the-scenes look at what makes the Maine one of the best games of the entire season was in Indy last night. Let's relive that game, even though LeBron James probably didn't want to relive the first 3 quarters of that game. Went into the 4th with only 3 points, but that changed quickly. James led all players in the final frame with 10. And let's just say he really loves playing the Pacers in these types of big moments. Yeah, because, these are the facts. James is no stranger to game winners against Indy.
Oh, no.
Hits the game winner in OT of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Paul George is sitting home in Philly being like, what did I do to you?
And then he hit the game-winning 3 with the Cavs. I'm just reading what happened in history back in 2018. First round of the playoffs. And then again to last night. Luka Doncic.
Hey,
no good?
Ow.
Well, really, what have you been saying all
Box out! Oh, my gosh.
At least do one or the other.
Exactly. Here's what LeBron had to say about that buzzer beater.